Right, so I'm here at the pier, downtown Auckland, city of sails. I am going hiking today. We're getting across the sea in a ferry to an island. Sounds exciting. So I am in unfamiliar territory today. A while back I was able to spend a week or so visiting Auckland, New Zealand, and jumped at the chance to do a couple hikes here. Today I'll be taking a freaking boat across the sea to this Jurassic Park-esque island to climb a volcano, albeit a small and dormant one. The romance is nonetheless hardly lost on me. Stop here at Devonport, which is kind of a sleepy, chic seaside town kind of thing. The island is behind Devonport, so we'll make a brief stop here and then the boat should go on to Rangitoto Island. Isn't this something? Almost kind of like a Jurassic Park Land Before Time kind of feeling. Nice. Even here at the pier, the soil is recognizably volcanic. There is a small collection of buildings, and overhead loomed the volcano itself, quite majestically. I wasn't particularly interested in any of this though. I was here to hike. So, off to the woods I go. It's very dense in here. Kind of a reminder of how relatively wet this area is even in the colder months. This initial section was dense and mossy. Not quite what I expected. There's apparently a grove of kowhai trees somewhere in the area, but they aren't flowering in this season. The narrow forest trail eventually joined a paved pathway, which directed me along the western shore of the island. Up ahead was an open area, a wide field of harsh volcanic rock stretching up to the water. In the distance, I could even see the skyline of central Auckland across the sea. Yet a little further down the path, the soil became wet, marshy, and covered with shrubs. Here I spotted a New Zealand fantail bird, flittering playfully about some nearby plants. In the saltwater shallows, I also spotted a pied shag diving for food and eventually taking off in spectacular fashion.
So of course, the eventual goal is to get to the summit of the volcano, but for the trail I've decided to hike today, we'll be kind of following the coast for a bit, all the way to the west side of the island before making kind of a right turn up towards the summit. So we'll be by the bay, Mackenzie Bay I believe, for a bit. So I've come across many of these so far, scattered along the trail. I think these are pest traps. Not sure exactly what sort of pests we're talking about. There appears to be something like an egg inside.
As far as I can tell, these are for invasive species like possums that eat the eggs of native birds and so are considered pests. At a particularly inviting stretch, I couldn't resist going down to the beach for a bit. In the shallow water, I saw globs of grape-like seaweed, apparently called Neptune's necklace, and native to Australia and New Zealand.
These barnacles here on the rocks, if that's what they are massive. They kind of look like oyster shells.
I suspect that is actually what they are, rock oysters, though I'm not sure. The sandy parts of the shore, meanwhile, are covered in a carpet of clamshells.
Wow. So most of the plants I've encountered on the island so far are kind of shrubs. They're pretty short. Here, there's a whole bunch of really tall trees. Okay. Whew. So finally, this is where the trail turns inland, and we're gonna head to the volcano. But before that, I'm gonna take a break, take a drink. Out over the bay there's this really cool looking lighthouse.
The Rangitoto Lighthouse is certainly a striking feature out in the water and serves as a marine landmark for the trail junction at which I would now turn east towards the volcano.
Feels good. It's starting to feel actually a little bit hot, as most of this trail is actually quite exposed and the sun has come up. So, of course, I've also been working up my body heat.
It also didn't help that it was relatively humid. It was almost winter in Auckland, but I felt my face begin to burn a little in the sunshine.
I think the trail has been going subtly uphill all this time, which is why the summit doesn't look quite as imposing anymore. It also explains why I've been huffing and puffing, I guess. Ooh.
As I got closer to the volcano itself, the foliage thickened, and I spotted a native New Zealand five-finger plant with its distinctive dark purple cluster of tiny berries. Before long, I came to the base of some wooden stairs and decided to take another break. Meanwhile, overhead, more birds went merrily about their business. Fantails again, I believe. The stairs circle clockwise around the peak as it ascends, delivering views of the eastern expanses of the island, as well as the neighbouring island of Motutapu. Seeing light ahead, I thought I had reached the summit. But as it turns out, that wasn't the case yet. But I had crested the volcanic rim. The view here is actually of the crater interior. Another flight of stairs later, and I emerge at the true summit.
Well, how about that? Kinda nicer than I expected. It's very nice, very breezy up here.
Several interesting structures mark the summit, a monument of sorts, and an old military fire command post. This island was once used as a defense outpost. It was a good time for lunch, so I got out the now soggy food that I brought and ate alongside the quite sizable group of people milling about the summit. And nearby, seemingly oblivious to the human activity, a little group of chubby brown quails scurried about on their business.
Nice summit, great views, very breezy, loads of people. Met some friendly people though, from all over the world, Japan, Ecuador, Germany, Switzerland and all. Spoke for a bit, it was fun. Now it's time to head down. We're gonna head straight for the wharf this time. Okay, so it seems like there is a detour of sorts towards some lava caves of some sorts. So I may be pushing the timing a little bit here, but let's go check it out.
10 or so minutes in, I found the first of the caves. Its rocky roof covered in green moss. The lava formations were interesting, but there doesn't seem to be too much to them. And it doesn't look like you could go much deeper anyhow.
Okay, honestly, nothing too interesting. I think there are a number of other caves further down the road, but I don't think I'll bother with them at this point. I'm just gonna try to make it straight back to the main trail, head down to the wharf. Can't afford to miss that ferry.
With not a lot of time to spare, I hiked down the direct trail from the summit towards the wharf. And along the downward path, spotted another native bird, a North Island saddleback, with its distinctive brown patch.
Oh yeah, this trail that connects the wharf and the summit, surprisingly great trail. Pretty rugged as well, considering it's the most traversed trail on this island. Wonderful.
With brisk steps, I found myself back near the shore before too long.
Okay, we're back at the wharf area, and actually with still a decent amount of time to spare, which is just how I like it.
There were plenty of other people here, also waiting for their ride back to the city. But despite that, there was still a sense of serenity. It had been a great day, and a golden sunset hung over the waters as I returned to downtown Auckland. Thankfully, this wouldn't be my only hiking trip in New Zealand. Another fun adventure at the Waitakere Ranges still awaited me. And if that sounds like a good time to you, do consider subscribing so that you too can come along. But for now, the day's adventure is done. Thank you, as always, for watching.
If there's one thing that I really want right now, it's Japanese style onsen, obviously. But obviously that's not available. So